Alright guys, welcome back to the second episode of Journey into Pandora, playing Green Rush. And it's been doing pretty well so far, no losses. So let's get into this. Queen's Guard, excellent, I'm going to keep that. That's going to be my second play. On turn 2. I get double neutral. Maybe even get this cheeky, unlikely hero off, we'll see. Queen's Guard has been fantastic for me recently. If you watched the last episode, did a lot of work. Oakfather, always a great card. Even if you don't get like maximum power-ups on it, it's still a big threat. It's going to be a Rebel Slinger. Alright. So a little bit of burn to start things off. Going to double neutral in. I'm going to get this Queen's Guard down. The next turn I can just forest in, hit. Gain a bit of Faeria, then maybe build into that unlikely hero. Potentially the Wood Elemental. Depending on what happens. Yep, so we are going... I mean, I could slow down the Faeria generation. I don't think that's a bad option either. So let's do that. Let's just make sure that our opponent can't get too much Faeria. We'll drop the unlikely hero now. So I'm going to force an answer from my opponent and make sure that this is checked. Because if it isn't, it's going to be a very cheap and powerful creature getting a +3/+3 buff. The beautiful thing about unlikely hero in Pandora, because removal is so, well, not rare, but unreliable, unlikely hero has good opportunities of actually triggering its ability. And you can get this ability off hitting the orb as well, which is also really good. So let's see what our opponent decides to follow up with here. It looks like there is an answer. Perhaps a Cypher's Wrath, perhaps a Flame Burst. Unless he's just checking the ability to make sure, hey, maybe I need to kill this guy. He's pretty crazy. Oh, it's a Firestorm, so... not a full value Firestorm, but just completely respecting this card, and I think that's absolutely fine. Because it is a terrifying card if left unchecked. And we get to go into the Verdant Force now. A lot of pressure being applied, especially if this is mono red. You know, Oakfather alone would have been terrifying, but a 7/7 pushing damage as well. It's going to be pretty sad. Oh, Hellfire. Only one hit on the Verdant Force? What are the chances? Let's move on to this mountain. I mean, this pushes 7. I mean, that's fine. We just push the 7 here. We can just +1. And then we can go into the Wood Elemental. We'll stick it here. And just make it more awkward for our opponent to answer. Because if I played it on this tile here, there could have been a potential taunt, maybe +1 Grimguard. Now I'll know about it without getting locked in first. I think it's just going to be a well played there. Mono red just can't deal with mono green in some situations. I think it's even worse in Pandora. So a very quick victory for Rush. We are playing Rush, so we are relying on early game momentum to carry us through the game. But let's get into the next match. Alrighty guys, next game we are going to be smoking like we have been. I can keep the boar, so I can have it as a follow-up play to the Grizzly. I am playing first, so I'm double neutral in maybe Forest Grizzly, so I can get this guy down potentially, or I just throw this all together, go double neutral Forest Grizzly. You know what, I'm going to try the Forest, I think. We haven't really done that yet. So we can just experiment with that idea. We're currently doing pretty well. As far as... as far as results are going. So, we have a little bit of time to experiment with. Oh, it is a Grizzly. Grizzly, very popular in Pandora, I'm not surprised. Very strong card. Now it might be worth double neutraling now to make sure I can get here with a forest. So I've changed my plan based on my opponent's play. I wasn't expecting a turn 1 creature to come down, especially something like a grizzly, which is a little harder to kill. So if my opponent wants to go for collection, he has to move away from my aggressive development. I'm kind of hoping there's no land ramp here, because I don't mind, because I can push across now, which is pretty good. I can push here and maybe get this spot. And now I'm out of reach of my opponent's grizzly. I'm just seeing if it's worth playing this. Probably. Yeah, I'm going to play this here. I'm going to play a forest on this spot, collect, and then play a Verdant Force. And that still opens up the opportunity to get the Ancient Boar down on turn 3. Well, my 3rd forest is not turn 3, but on my 3rd forest. Lake into Enchantress. Okay, so now this grizzly is quite a threat. So instead I think I'm going to play the Oakland. Just play the Oakland down here. Then runs into the Oakland. Maybe powers up something in my hand, like maybe the Verdant Force. I'd rather power up one of the smaller guys because I can get these down cheap and they'll be very strong. And then I can maybe line up the Verdant Force to kill this on the follow-up. Maybe take my 3rd forest here, move this down, and then play the Verdant Force in front and try and get them to trade. I'm not in a rush to kill my opponent. It's not like Yellow Rush, where you're just trying to hit your opponent as much as possible, get those Zealous Crusaders down. I can take my time. I can do a bit of board control, I feel. Might not even kill this. Might leave it up, which is fine. Yeah, okay. So Gift of Krakoa brings us up to 5, 6. If I had another creature down. So give +1 for each creature. So that's 2. This would be 3. Yeah, I need another creature on top of that. Let's see where this goes. Okay. Now, do I use the Sagami Warrior to keep a bit of Faeria, or do I just throw the Verdant Force under? I think the Verdant Force is fine here, because the Sagami Warrior represents cheap momentum for later on. So if I'm ever kind of top deck and I need to get a creature back on board to start reapplying pressure, Sagami Warrior could do that for me. Tiki Caretaker. I think I'm okay with that. I'll trade off my bear in this. Yeah, I'm happy to trade my bear here. I think that's fine. He's had to invest additional resources into it. So currently there is 10 Faeria invested into this bear. So he does gain a Faeria advantage by 1. But it's not too bad. Now I could take this land here to make sure I have that aggression. And I got the Imperial Drain. I mean, I could alternatively +1 and just put 2 things down. But I don't have that land, so I think I'll just take double neutral here. Stop the aggressive lands being pushed that way. I guess you can still push this way. I don't think that makes a difference. Maybe just take a forest. Or I take double neutral here to stop any potential defensive lands coming on this spot. Yeah, we'll dash this onto the well. Even though we're going to play Imperial Drain to stop the double collection. I'm just dashing it out of reach of this Tiki Caretaker, just in case. You might as well. If I can use dash to move, I mean I could have just played it on here alternatively. But the plan is I've taken this spot now, so there can't be a land developed here to block me. I can probably push 8 damage unless a transform effect comes down, or say a Voice of Truth. If those 2 cards aren't available, then I'm gonna be in a really good spot. I've stopped my opponent collecting additional Faeria. Double collection on the right there was a little problematic for me. So picking up that Imperial Drain worked out for me. I didn't think I'd get much out of this card since it's a one-of, but in this situation, pretty good. Now, if there are no answers to my Sagami Warrior, I can go Ancient Boar. Or, yeah, I could go Ancient Boar, and then I can push damage and set up the powered up Waryak. And I also have the Gift of Recover as a way to push damage as well. Maybe moving towards this. Okay, Oak Father. Silent Horsemaster, Lockout, Imperial Drain. Okay, that's fine. Vine Wall would be a good pickup. So I think I go for Ancient Boar into Punishment here. +1, just get that additional Faeria back. And basically, this Oak Father now needs additional power in order to kill this. Gabriel Enchantment isn't enough. It's going to need an additional 1 power in order to finish off my Sagami Warrior. No Frog Tosser, not enough land. +1. Goes up to 8. Falcon Dive. Punishment? Big investment. I'm in a really good spot. Come down as a 5/5. Okay. So I can push some damage here. I could reset this into a 3/3. Push 4. Or I can push 4, then play this. This becomes a 6 +1, and then if I get a small creature, I can get lethal with Gift of Krakoa. A bit hesitant about drawing for Pandora here. We've just had a shard. If I +1, there might not be a Gift of Pandora available. So let's do that. Oh, hang on, what line am I going for here? Am I going to go for the Voice of Truth, push 4? I think so. I think that's fine, because I still have Gift of Krakoa on this to bump it up. Oh man, I would have had Pandora if I'd drawn. Alright, so my opponent has a good opportunity to make a comeback here. Depending on the treasure that was drawn. It's going to be a Queen's Guard, okay. So I can take care of that with a Gift of Krakoa on the boar. And my going to a Gabriel as well to draw some more cards, get some more Faeria. That's what I like to see. Oh, very nice. So I can get the dual magpie going as well. So what's the play? This costs me 6. Leaves me with 4 Faeria. I can go for a taunt. So I could even taunt these guys up. I might want to play the treasure I gained from this. The problem is I can't play Jeweled Magpie and then power up. I can play Wood Elemental on power up and get that extra power. So I think I'll see what treasure I get. I think I'll just take the +2. Finish this off. Going with the Magpie. And see what we get. Cloud Machine. Alright. So we locked our opponent in with the octopus, with the wood elemental. Our opponent picked up another treasure. So everything turns into a 6/6. That's pretty good. But maybe not good enough. Because Cloud Machine sets up lethal for me. And it allows my little piggy to jump as well. I don't think there's going to be a blocker. Might be another win, guys. It's looking good. Oh, there is a blocker. The Cloud Machine is going to set up lethal for me. That was actually a really good draw from the Magpie. Because this allowed us to get that lethal. Bam, this deck is absolutely tearing through Pandora. Mono Green Rush. I had a really good draft, to be fair. You know, picking up a lot of synergistic cards, solid rush creatures like Queen's Guards and Deepwood Grizzlies. Things are looking good so far. Let's get on to the next game. Alright guys, the next match going well so far. Ooh. This is another opportunity Imperial Drain could be fantastic. Unfortunately, didn't pick up the best cards for it. Oh, we're on Explore. Everything is just fine. And a hello to you. Let's see what comes down. It's going to be a forest. Okay. Double neutral. So we have Explore, Forest, Forest, Oak Father. You can get this Imperial Drain set up right away. It's going to be a Verdant Force. Okay. Let's get this down. I'm actually going to double neutral here. I'm going to explore. So I'm going to try and get a forest on the well. Because by the time I set up my creatures, my Imperial Drain will be depleted. And the Verdant Force is on the other side of my opponent's orb. You can see it's going to be slowly moving back. Do I want to play this yet? I guess it's worth it, because if anything comes down here with free life, I can kill it. Mountain, Verdant Force moves over. Go into the Brute. Ah, Brute's a bit little high on the life total for me to deal with. Do we pre-hit into this? Well, this would only have to hit this, so no, we hold out. Because the Oak Father can finish this off, and then the Oak Father can finish this off as well. Now, if we get Steam Forge proc, it's not really going to do a lot. But if this is dealt with first, we could even take out the Verdant Force after we play an Ancient Boar onto this side of the board, so we can start applying pressure away from the Brute. And right now our opponent isn't collecting any Faeria. So Gift of Steel is probably one of the saddest things that could come down, because it's still out of range of our punishment. Okay, opponent moves down to play aggressively, not trying to collect off the wells now. Alright, another Grizzly. Now we hit this, we still died to the Verdant Force. It's a shame. So what's my life going to be at, actually? If I hit this now, I'm going to go down to 5, which is enough to proc the boar. So I could keep the boar on this well if I wanted. And we want to collect. We want to collect, and this is going to go up to a 5/5 potentially. I'm assuming these two are going to trade. Unless there's some form of removal. Some combination of removal. We'll have to see. Like, Derelict Tower Firebomb would do it. Can't +1 Derelict Tower Bomb Slinger. Can Flame Burst Ciphers, Flame Burst Punishment. So there's a few combination of things that could be done to take care of Oak Father and Light Clear on the board. But best case scenario for me is it's just a trade. Okay. So using the teleport to collect a Faeria, okay. And then take the value on the board. Oh, right. That's really nice. That was a nice play from Cardinal there. So I'm going to go in for 8. Build a forest. And play the Grizzly Bear in the way. This is my blocker. Now, Grizzly Bear is a durable guy. You know, he should be able to hold a Verdant Force in here, at least. Unless there's another teleport. And once these two are fought, if the bear does live, I can also heal it back up to 8 life with the Voice of Truth. You know, positional blocking has always been a good thing for green because their guys are so bulky, and they usually can stick around. So it's a little bit more difficult to work around a blocker. In decks with smaller creatures, removal is usually the cleanest answer. Oh wow! So my 8/3 is going to remain. That feels good. Problem is the current creatures on board are a little sad. I go up to 9 with the Steam Forge. I don't have any haste. Gonna move on to my forest. Okay. Vine Wall's very interesting in this position. So I can. This is actually a really interesting draw. So I'm going to move here. I'm going to make a land, and then I'm going to Vine Wall these two guys up. I'm going to hit for 9. I'm going to see if my opponent can get around this somehow. I mean, it's only 1 damage needed to finish off my Oak Father. But we did see the Sagami Grove Caller retreat, which means that 1 damage was probably not in hand. So I'm playing to my outs here. And if I can just win the game off this, I'm just going to go for it. I am a rush deck, so I do need to take those high-risk, high-reward plays. I have the Earthshaker in deck, and I have the Jeweled Magpie, so I do have damage from hand, but it's all linked to my Pandora treasures. Oh, the Salamander. So that worked out quite nicely. And then able to finish off my own father. Create a nice wall. Gift of Rakoa. Queen's Guard. Pass. So our opponent did manage to stabilize. So we're quite reliant on treasures here to win this match. This could be my first loss. Unless Cardinal makes some positional errors, which gives me openings to attack. But Cardinal's probably in a position now, especially with that aggressive land development, to just sit back with the creatures. You know, protect his orb. Make sure I can't get that cheeky damage in. But then again, he has to respect that the fact that now we're playing in Pandora, I could draw anything, right? I could just draw Freedom Fighter, and I win off the Freedom Fighter. So going for a more aggressive position in here instead of kind of like walling up defenses. Could just think if my opponent has hammer, I'm going to lose anyway, so I should play more aggressively. That could be the logic here. There's a Tiki Totem blocking one of my haste lines, and there's the Grimguard blocking another haste line. So yeah, did fortify quite well there. So I can draw for Pandora, or I can start making some defensive lands and make it a bit more difficult for my opponent to get down to me. For double neutral here, forces double neutrals down, and then I can neutral. I've got also double neutral down, so I can kind of react to the land development that way. So I've done like an upper diamond to just slow down my opponent's land development, give me a bit more time to see if I can find a way to win the game. Because right now it's not looking too good for me. Free life is kind of difficult, and if any healing comes down, I'm going to be in a tough spot. So Grimguard might just move onto my forest. That forest exactly covers a lot of bases there. Also covers that neutral tile in the center. But now the Verdant Force has moved away, I can start developing aggressive threats on the forest on the top left. +1 into Queen's Guard. Let's take a draw. Alright, Pandora is awakened. Or has awoken, sorry. Urn of Gabria, okay. Interesting. think this is right. So my plan is to kill this taunt somehow. Probably a combination of Voice of Truth and Punishment. And then somehow try and teleport my boar up there to finish him off. A little optimistic. But we'll see if we can do it. Because right now I could use Gift of Recoa. I guess. I could go like, unlike the hero Gift of Recoa, one-shot this. And then... Well, no, that's going to be 5... Maybe not. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what my opponent gets up to. So just healing up that Verdant Force. We also get the proc off the Steam Forge. That's really good. Oh, Doom Scythe. Sad times. I can kill this. But I don't really know what that does for me right now. I think I just play Queen's Guard and just hold this here for a little bit. But this is going to move down and clear this anyway. But I need my creature to teleport. So let's just drop a Queen's Guard and just wait. Let's see if we can get another Pandora treasure. Earthfire Shaker. Earthfire Shaker. Double punishment, teleport for the lethal. Assuming the Queen's Guard moves into a position that doesn't allow me to get past its taunt. That's a big assumption. I mean, alternatively, in this spot, so let's say the Verdant Force goes into the Queen's Guard. The Crackthorn Beast comes down and kills the Steam Forge. I could run my boar into the Crackthorn. I could then punish the Verdant Force, and then I could Earthfire Shaker. Let's say here, to try and take care of this taunt, and then I can try and get... even an unlikely hero would be lethal for me at that point, if I could teleport it up. So I could follow up with like a little unlikely hero somewhere, and then just try and sneak in the teleport. So that might be my plan going forward now. That's a boar. Okay. Oh man, we're not going to be able to do that. I'm going to have to Earthfire Shaker first, and then punish this, and then move this up and kill this. Unless I just take care of this instead. I can double punish this, actually. Oh, I have lethal. I'm an idiot. Did I have this earlier? I'm so sorry, guys. I am so sorry. I'm just like, I completely forgot that Queen's Guard was a neutral character. That was embarrassing. It happens though, it happens. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I did see it in the end. I was so tunnel visioned and these taunts locking me out of the match. I didn't actually just think, oh, wait, punishment just kills neutrals. I mean, it's not like I use punishment a lot. But I'm starting to use it more, so I'm starting to spot those plays. You know, I'm kind of still in the learning phase of Pandora. You know, I'm still getting used to the meta and the card choices. But punishment, fantastic card, as you can see. If you spot lethal early, you'll kill him quicker. I was very fortunate no other taunts came down. But yeah, so far so good. And I'm going to call it at this part. So we're currently at 5-0. In our next part, we'll see if I can go all the way to 9-0 with this Green Rush. So until next time, guys, take care and enjoy Pandora.